Hello, everyone. This is America's most celebrated president, Grover Cleveland, reminding you to follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram and Twitter. Do it or I'll box your bloody ears. Thank you.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book. Hi, everybody. It's your old pal, me. We're ready to ink a page. It's a little late in the day. Whoa. Almost spilled my ink already. That wouldn't be good. Today we're doing page 10-something, 104, where this alien is continuing to try and get the Bonehead, or get the potion from Bonehead that he just stole. And there's frogs flying in the air all of a sudden. And we got a big kablam at the end there. It's almost 7 o'clock. If I go beyond 2 hours, I think I'm gonna have to just end it at 9, is what I'm thinking. So we'll see how far I get tonight. But here we go. Let's get to drawing. Yeah, that's an alien. That's how Granddaddy drew aliens. Ooh, I never washed my brush. I could have sworn I did. It's all stiff with ink. So I've got this bit of water at my desk that's filled with ink already at this point, but it should help me loosen up my brush. Dang it, I hate when I don't wash my brush after the show. Oh yeah, but I didn't have a lot of time. That's why I gotta kind of get out of here at 9 tonight, because I'm gonna have to run shortly after the broadcast. Oof. One more time. Okay. As always, I invited just about everybody I know into the broadcast. We'll see if anybody shows up. I'm sticking my inky brush into my mouth, trying to reform the tip. That's kind of a tip. Okay. This is the way we dip the ink, dip the ink, dip the ink. This is the way we dip the ink all through the show. Get my bristles a little more saturated in ink. So I was at my parents' house this morning. Well, most of the day, actually. And my mom just made me a hearty meal. My mom, who was on the show the other day, she, at least her voice was, she didn't want to share her camera. I didn't ask her to come on. I was surprised she came on at all. And that was, let me see if I can find the show. She was on the one called Time to Die. And my dad came on for a little bit on the one before that called Who Needs Sleep? At least on YouTube. I just set up the thing on Twitch where it should archive the shows for a little bit. But I guess Twitch deletes the shows anyway before long. I thought I could make them permanent or something, but I think it only stays up for 2 weeks. C'est la vie. This line is a little... I need to be able to get it thinner and more reliable. So this is why I gotta wash my brush after every show. Otherwise it gets a little unruly on me. I might not be able to use this one right now. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to use that right now. That one's not... Oh! This is the one I was using yesterday. I'm grabbing an old one that I didn't wash, because I'm pretty sure I did wash it yesterday. This one's clean, and it's sitting on top of my laptop, so I think that was the one I used yesterday. I'm going to rinse this one off once more. Just so it's cleaner than it is right now that I've dipped it in ink a whole bunch. Yeah, that one feels like way more flimsy than it did yesterday. I was getting kind of confused. It feels a little older, more well-worn. Okay. This feels familiar. Okay. That I can work with. Cool. It's good to have... First of all, it's good to have good brushes. These Winsor & Newton Series 7. I've heard many artists recommend them. They're also the ones that Bill Watterson used to ink Calvin and Hobbes, the greatest comic of all time. Any cartoonist will tell you that. In fact, I've heard a lot of artists ask other artists, like, so what's your favorite comic? But don't say Calvin and Hobbes, because Calvin and Hobbes doesn't count, because everyone's going to say Calvin and Hobbes. But so that's what I use. But so it's good to have a good brush, but it's also good to have multiple brushes. I have probably 3 or 4 size 3 of these. And I only have one size 2, which I also use a lot, but it lost so many bristles that it was way too weak from that's one thing about cleaning it every day is after a while you wear it out and the the bristles start to eventually come out after you use it a whole bunch. So, but even that one that lasted me a good few months. But it is probably time for me to order a few more brushes. Not many, because like I said, I probably have 2 other size 3. I have some bigger ones, but I never use them. Though it would be good to use a bigger one for like big black areas. All right. I think I got President Grover Cleveland to agree to be a regular on the show, introducing it. I want to try and get another guest on those. But I mean a celebrity guest. Like Grover Cleveland. But I've got someone else in mind. Oh yeah. TTT. So I just got back from church. I usually go early in the morning. But if I can't make it in the morning, I go to a different one where I go to a different one that's usually closer to my house. That's usually closer to my house. What a cool sentence. If I can't go to this one early in the morning, I go to this other one that is closer to my house that does an evening one. Oh, hi, Vucky. How you doing? Welcome home. Yes. Yes, you can. You're not doing great? I'm sorry. Well, I hope you're okay. Ooh. My car might be on the verge of death. Head gasket, piston rings, or valve seals. What do I do? Yeesh. Head gasket, piston rings, or valve seals. I don't even know what those are. I'm sorry to say. I don't know. I'm the least car knowledgeable guy. Like I'm. I hate that. My the car that I drive, I had like transmission problems a few years back, and apparently it's a common problem with my make or model or whatever. And but at the time it was covered by my warranty, and so they took care of it like free of charge because that can get pricey. And and I just recently paid my car off, but I think it's probably about to die as well. I have it. I mean, it's driving fine right now, but I have this hint that it's just gonna have problems with the transmission again before long. Now that I've paid it off. Second, should I enter the race? It has a $400 entrance fee, and I have no chance of winning unless enough people vote based on their disliking of the incumbent. Nissan CVT. Mine is a Ford. Why can't I think of what my car is? It's a Ford Fiesta. My car has a transmission leak, but that's not problem number one at the moment. So wait, you're entering a race though? It has a $400 entrance fee, and I have no chance of winning unless enough people vote based on their disliking of the incumbent. So is it a just like a popularity contest, or is it like a race? I guess you need your car in good shape, though, it sounds like, for this thing. Otherwise, yeah. So it's dying just in time for trying to enter it into this thing? Third, how do I find something people don't know or believe exist? How do I find? You're asking tough questions today, Vucky. How do I find something people don't know or believe exist? Uh, enter a race. It has 4. For that one, go to church. That's what I did today. Election. Okay. Representative. $400 entrance fee, and I have no. Oh! I was thinking the car. So you're entering a race. For State House. Should I enter a race? It has $400 entrance fee and dang. I'd say if that's something where you think you could do some good and you've got I don't know, $400. I say follow your heart on that one. If it's important to you and you think that's where you need to be, I don't know. I say if now is going to be the time to do it, maybe go for it. Like if you're not going to get a chance and this is the time to do it, I don't know. Deadline is March. What is that gonna entail for you? Like, what do you do as the representative of District 113 for State House? That sounds like big shot stuff. Oh. Well, nah, don't bother then. No, I don't know. First, I would be unfireable. Second is the problem with every single job. Or second, wait, I would be unfireable. Second, that's the problem with every single job. Are you saying you get fired all the time? I'm applying for my current. I broke the computer. Wait up. Applying. Dang. That's some wacky misfortune. I hate applying for jobs so much. It's like the last time I was applying for jobs, I probably applied to like 24 places, and just the constant like putting yourself out there and selling yourself. It's so, I don't know. I feel terrible the whole time, and then most of the people you never hear back from, or like I got a couple interviews, but then you never hear back from them. And there were a couple that I was like, I thought they went so well. Like I was talking to this one guy for like an hour about like, it was some job where I'd be like, this was a long time ago though, where I'd be like cleaning the interiors of planes or something, like little private planes. And yeah, we talked about an hour about like all sorts of things, life, work, I don't know, everything. We just talked about all kinds of stuff forever. And then I never heard from him again. Ugh, I hate it. I have no idea about the car. Say no to run. No, I think. And what about finding the mythical relic? Mythical relic. Where did Indiana Jones go? Yeah, I have no idea about the car. Sorry. I say run if you think you can do the job. And the mythical relic. Let me see. Where is, okay. Do you have a mythical relic in mind? Furthermore, I'm just a barely literate aspiring cartoonist. You're making me think too dang much. Let's see. Mythical relic. Oh, there's some on Etsy and wish.com. It's not mythical. It's a development prototype that never made it past, let's say, 88 units. I used to look for stuff like that on eBay. I think. A long time ago, when I was probably right out of high school, I dropped $400 on a They Might Be Giants demo tape. And it was the first time I'd ever found one. And it made like the headlines of the They Might Be Giants wiki. And they're like, some person dropped spent $400 or won an auction on eBay for the 1985 demo tape or whatever. And then it was like shortly after, like MP3s of it started turning up on the internet, and they were like all over the place. But I guess mine was a little different than the standard recording. But anyway, you say you found one on eBay in 2016. The cool one won. I don't know the price, but Hemmings said it was worth $100K. Is this a car thing? I don't know. Cool one won. Let me see. Don't know the price, but Hemming said it was worth $100,000. Holy smokes! So even if you find one, what do you do? I guess if it's worth $100,000 to you, and you have $100,000. Wait, are you looking for a car? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like cars are probably one of the few things I know slightly more than the average person about. I barely know how to start mine. I'm oh yeah, I didn't get my license till I was 20. Car itself is actually the least valuable part. Okay. So are you just looking for parts from this mythical car relic? Like to I don't know. I'm saying I don't know a lot. I'm sorry. That sounds stupid. I've been catching myself doing that a lot lately. That's how I end sentences these days. Okay. Have you tried your local dealership? No, I'm just kidding. A gas turbine engine? No. I've heard tell of them, but I don't know what that is. It's closer to what the? It's closer to a jet engine than a standard piston-powered car. The most numerous turbine car out there are 9 remaining examples of the 55 production cars. Dang. How long have you been looking for something like this? Mayish. Okay. Dang. So you're saying okay. For a second, I was thinking you were saying originally that you were having problems with the turbine engine. I was like, wait, are you already driving something like, or you already have something like this too? But no, that's not what you said. So is this a fancy pants car that's on the brink of death? Or just a slumming car? A Ford Fiesta, perhaps? I would ask the man who knows the most, 2 owners of the remaining cars, but they have far more power and knowledge than I do, could lead loop while they find it. Yeah, you don't want to. Show your hand, kind of. (1951) Packard 200. It's a 4-door, so it's not worth much. It's still interesting the most. Okay. You see, dang, yeah. I can't tell. Is that the car that's in your little avatar there? No, I don't think. Maybe it is. Very glad. Oh, it is. Okay. Very glad my Hyundai works as well as it does. So that's the car that's dying, the 51 pack. No, the Hyundai. This Frog's shadow is not going to be there like I drew, because that wouldn't make sense. The Packard's dying. Dang. Rip off. No, that stings. That's a pretty cool car. But who do I ask about the turbine? Jay Leno. I'm sorry. I'm not. No, because if he said, I would. Who do you ask then? That was a joke, and then I remembered. I don't know. I'm not good. Who do you ask? Where you can find one without tipping off that, or like that wouldn't be interested in it themselves. I don't know. Someone who has one already. Right? They might know where to go. You know, they might have someone like a guy for stuff like that. I don't know though. I don't know how easy that would be to find a guy who has one already of their own. Oh. I don't know. So you're trying to find a turbine engine for the Packard, I think. So Jay Leno. Are we both talking about Jay Leno? Like, is your guy that is your guy also Jay Leno? My day's been not too eventful. Because I'm on a couple days of an overnight schedule. Okay. So I kind of slept at my parents' a good chunk of the day. But with any luck, I won't have to do this weird schedule for some time now, for hopefully a long time now. And so I kind of slept a good chunk of the day, and then I went to church, and I came here and started drawing. You know, I did an overnight schedule for maybe 4 months straight or so, maybe a bit long. And I actually do them all the time. I pick up overnight shifts all the time, and it was kind of nice. It helped that it was like I would work 7 days overnights, and then I would have 7 days off. And that schedule I had for maybe 4 to 6 months or so, a few years back, and it was kind of nice. And it was like a pretty solid like routine of things to do, and it wasn't a bad gig. But like now I just do them here and there all the time, and it's a little rougher on my on me switching back to normal schedules and overnight schedules all the time. It's a bit rougher on me now. But like I said, I think I'm about done with them for a while now. I think this is the last one I'm doing for some time tonight, because I've been training new people. And we've been without like an overnight regular shift for a bit. It's like the days seem like, when I'm trying to get a stream in every day too, it just makes the day seem so much shorter. But I like helping out my boss. Let's see. Got all that. Stinking camera. Yeah, in my 20s, doing overnights was never much of anything. Like now, well, I don't think it would be so bad if I did it all the time now. I think I could make it work doing overnights all the time, but it's just going back and forth is kind of wearing me down. And the other thing is like I never wanted to do it like as a permanent thing because it gets hard to plan stuff with my family, my brothers and my sisters. Like I like being able to get with my family all the time to see my nieces and nephews and all that. It's like it's just harder to like request time off if you need it because so few people can make that shift work. I'm excited about these streams though. I think I was getting a good little extra boost of attention on my channel yesterday from sharing. I always said like I was always too. Oh wait, let's see. Let's see. Is there an order to visiting them? In order to visiting them, like we just always get together and like all at once. To visiting them, we always kind of get together at my parents' house. That's like the hub. Or like wherever the family party is. So yeah, all my brothers and sisters and my parents, we're all fairly close by, so we kind of hang out pretty regularly. And it's weird since I moved in with my best friend about 5 years ago, and my other buddies moved out to different states. It's like, and since my brothers started having kids, it's like my siblings have and parents have become like my best friends, and we're like always jonesing to hang out together. It's pretty cool. As long as I've lived with such a big family, I've never gotten along with them like I do these days. And that's going on about 5 years or so now, 5 or 6 years. what I was saying, I finally, I was always like kind of hesitant to do like a story or whatever on Instagram to share this channel, like, or to like kind of promote this channel on Instagram where I have like the most followers of strangers and stuff. And also people are following me for my art over there. But I was always kind of shy to mention this channel over there. And then I did this big story on, like, I added a bunch of posts to my story. I was encouraging people to check out the channel. And it seemed like it got me a good bit of attention yesterday. So that's exciting. Probably be doing that. I'm just trying to get some build up interest in this comic while I'm making it. So by the time I make it, but by the time it's done, by the time maybe it's a book I can hold in my hand, maybe people will be eager to get it. I don't know. Of course, that's going to be a ways away. And as I do this, there's like, because I've never made a book before or talked to or pitched to a publisher before or anything like that. So I've got a lot of like learning to do, I guess. There's no really cursed content signed with your name out there. No, I don't think so. Like stuff that I've made that I'm suppressing. Mostly just this thing that I was showing yesterday. This kind of dumpy little 24-page comic I made right about 11 years ago. I think there's probably 10 copies floating around out in the ether, and I probably have like a handful buried in my basement somewhere. I made that one. I made a digital one that's never been printed or anything, and it's only part of the story. And that's it, really. Nothing that's seen the light of day. And I gotta look into though, seeing if I can self-publish or some black and white 24-page issues of this comic That was something I was going to try and do this month. And I keep forgetting. So many things to do. So many things I want to do. So I wanted to try and put out a black and white edition of the first 24 pages and just do because Bonehead, the main character, he isn't even in the first 24 pages. And then do a cover, a front and back cover for that, and maybe put it up on an Etsy, order a bunch of copies and put it up on an Etsy site or something like that, and kind of get my feet wet with trying to sell merch, but see if anybody's interested in that. How do you let's see. It's kind of setting up the rest of the story. It's got other characters in the story, but it's back in the past. And I guess there is a protagonist, but it's not that protagonist. It's not Bonehead in that chunk of the story. And I want to say we're maybe about 20 pages of kind of seeing how that was relevant, I think. At this point of the story, we're about, I want to say about 15, 20 pages away from seeing how that ties in a little. Let's see. Oh, but to do that, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna scan these pages. How do you start making a comic on 11 by 17 artboards, not knowing how you're even gonna scan them in? But I'm pretty sure my local library will be able to. We'll have something I can utilize. I just haven't been to this library yet. Maybe I'll go there tomorrow at some point. I'll check them out. This canonically after the pilot, yet it has the world building. Let me see. Is this canonically after the pilot? It can be, I guess so. It has the world building. Yeah. I think if I continued the cartoon, I would introduce this character differently. Yeah, I don't know if it's quite exactly parallel. I would kind of handle them a little differently for the cartoon and for the comic. Just ever so slightly. Not like same characters, same personalities, same important stuff, but maybe the course of events would be a little different. Yeah, like he has a girlfriend now. I guess largely this could be considered canonically after the pilot. But like if I continued the cart, I think the main thing is like I might reveal things to characters that happen in this comic differently in the cartoon. There's some story elements that I would handle different in the cartoon if we ever got to them. And yeah, including how I would introduce like Billy here. And anything to do with his home planet, I think might even be. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. I mean, who knows? But as for now, I would say it. This could be. These could live harmoniously. Um, as this being canon after that story. So on the last page, Bonehead threw all these things at all these flasks at the alien, and they all burst and splashed all over these frogs. And now the frogs are all floaty. in a tad. Frogs. Okay. I on my face. My hat keeps hitting the camera. So I took it off. So next thing that happens is going to be my forehead's going to hit the camera. Okay. Do this guy first. Is it padded? No, but I guess the part that I always bump my head against, it's like a little rounded plastic part that like the little hinges on. It's not. I'm not like cracking my head against like, I don't know, like a big expensive movie camera or anything. Let me see. There's my camera pointing down at my work. This is like the hinge. That's what I'm bumping my head against all the time. Like this little edge here. I finished drawing this guy already. Still drawing him? And actually, it's usually my glasses that knock into it. It's all this stuff sticking out of my face. It bumps into it. Okay, here's that. Here's Froggy. Okay. This here is a background that says, "Ew." There we are. You think you'll ever add some big ideas to your story? Like, I almost made this story about religion, but I kind of didn't know how to stick the landing. But there is some mention, like on his home planet, this guy, there's some mention of um, the big hubbub is what they call their god. It's just mentioned really, but I for a minute I was gonna make it a little more revolved around theology, but I don't think I really ever figured out what that story was gonna be and how to make it work or be interesting or be a good story. I couldn't figure out what the moral kind of core of it was. Does free will exist? What is the meaning of life? What is love? I think that's going to be a kind of part of the story. Is what is love by the end of this. Does free will exist? What is the meaning of life? Off the top of my head, I would see those are kind of like what I want to kind of roll into these stories as I make comics, stuff like that. And I was kind of like really wrestling with how to get that into a story for a long time before I kind of ended up with my script. Off the top of my head, if I had to answer those questions now, does free will exist? Yes. What is the meaning of life? Love. What is love? Rejection of self. Booyah, booyah, booyah. Nailed it. Money, please. I'm no educator. I don't got no education. But in a nutshell, that's my thinking on that. That's what I'd be trying to convince you in my stories about those things. And those are all kind of connected in my mind because my inclination is to believe that, let's see, you are in life, you are born with free will, but you are called to reject it out of love, which is the meaning of life. Live selflessly out of love. As I'm thinking about it now, that I mean, what the what the fuck are asexuals? Sometimes I wonder if they know. No, they're a bunch of folks. No, I don't know. Lucky's asking all the tough questions today. But that will be the topic of my next graphic novel. Called Ace in the Hole. Because they call them aces. Asexuals. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. One day I'll ask you simple questions like they did to me in kindergarten and get them all wrong. What is my favorite color? Cadillac. What's my favorite shape? Argentina. No. 7. Ooh. Dignity. That's my favorite shape. much. Where did the idea of Bonehead come from? I was talking about it on a recent show where I was showing the first drawings of him. I think it was just like my buddy who was going to the same art school as me. He I had just graduated, and he was working in the I was in the animation department, and then he was in the video game development department, and he asked if he was supposed to make a level for a final, and and he just called me up and asked if I had any characters that I had that he could that I could do some animations of for his level design project. And when he asked me that, I just kind of heard, "Would you want to Would you want to make your own video game?" And my imagination kind of ran wild. And it was like the next 45 minutes, I had a bunch of drawings of Bonehead and his boss, Mr. Shivers, I had made up. And it all started as the main idea was Bonehead Bonehead worked at a poison factory. His boss was the bad guy. He would pull flasks of poison out of his, like these things, out of his head and throw them at bugs that were trying to get him. And that was kind of all I really knew. Billy was in that sketchbook. I knew there was a devil guy named Mort, but I didn't know what he looked like yet. I had some weird drawings of him. Like, I think the first drawing I did of him was actually a ripoff of I think I copied and slightly changed a drawing out of a Hellboy book, but I knew that, I wasn't trying to design the character in earnest right there. I did find an early cute design of Mort, but I didn't figure out what he looked like for a long time. Later, but it all just kind of like came about. I was thinking a lot about Rocco's Modern Life for some reason when I was making up Bonehead. I was thinking a lot about the Earthworm Jim game. And I was also thinking of, for some reason, something that popped into my head when I sat down to draw that day. I remembered there was a friend of mine who one time she drew Oh no, not. There was something in some drawing in one of his notebooks. He didn't. I didn't get anybody's design from Hellboy, but there was a sketch that I had in a notebook when I was drawing the first drawings of Bonehead and those characters. Um, the first drawing I did of Mort, just not even knowing who he was quite yet, I just ripped off a Hellboy drawing, like some background demon character or something, and I wrote Mort underneath it. And I think that was more to just remind myself of that I wanted a devil character named Mort. But I never really intended that to be what he looked like. And so it was years later I figured out what he actually looked like. Let me see. I have that notebook out still. Yeah, let me see here. Maybe I can find it. So these were the first drawings of Bonehead. I just knew I wanted a skeleton with big buck teeth. It was the first thing that popped in my head. But I was gonna say one of the things that I was thinking of was one of my friends at one point years earlier. She had drawn like I don't know if it was a skeleton. I don't think it was a skeleton, but it was like a monster character, a cute little monster character in a like a looking like he was working at some blue collar job, and he was talking about TPS reports, and that kind of came to mind too. Let's see, I'm looking for. Here's the first drawings of Mr. Shivers. That's probably the first drawing, which is probably the worst thing I've ever drawn. This feels like Bonehead Dad. Yeah. He looked like a thumb. And I kind of put this like peak in his skull. Before long, I started making his head like a perfect diamond because I thought it would be a good logo. See? Like it would work in a logo somehow. Here's one of the bugs that I wanted him to have to fight. We made a level, but it wasn't too ambitious or interesting. I designed a way, like on paper, I designed a way more ambitious, interesting level, but yeah, this was me trying to like riff something, some kind of devil guy in it, but I don't think I quite knew who Mort was yet. But I just wanted to at least remind myself that there was going to be a guy named Mort who was a devil looking guy. But that I'm pretty sure is at least partly ripped off from I think it's whatever one Hellboy book I have. I think it's called Seeds of Destruction. That was my first time trying to figure out what Mort might look like. It like that clearly does not fit in with the rest of my characters. At least these characters. At least it's not he doesn't look like a good drinking buddy for Bonehead. Is Mort's name from Mortician? I just always thought of him as a Mortimer. I also had another character, so those My Neighbor's a Psychopath characters. I was like using these characters for a long time. I was saying yesterday, I was trying to restart that story as something called Moon Valley. But there was also I was also like trying to make cartoons of those characters for a while when I was in art school. And again, it was like mostly connected to the comics I was making, but it was kind of separate at the same time. And in the cartoon versions, there was going to be this like green faced, purple suited guy named Mr. Mortimer that was going to be like a continuing antagonist for them for a while. Like he was going to be like, he was going to start as like a hotel owner, and then he was going to be like their principal and stuff, and it would be like, I don't know. It was a weird idea. But I guess I always liked the name Mortimer. What was the point of me telling that? Oh, and I think I got Mortimer from that. Is it Jimmy Stewart in that movie? What is it called? Lace, Arsenic and Old Lace. I think that's what put the name in my head to begin with. Arsenic and Old Lace. Cary Grant. I'm a dummy. But I haven't seen that in forever. Let's see. Yeah, his name is Mortimer Brewster in that. Man, I barely would have remembered that. That was a good question, I feel like. There's another set of characters I have where there's a frog that kind of looks like this. Like these frogs. Or he's a frog man. He's like a circus freak, really. But he just looks like a frog, you know? And it's like after I made him up, there was a while where I found myself drawing frogs all the time. And it was like when I realized that, I decided to put some frogs in this script. So I wrote this scene into it. The thing I like about the frogs in this story is they just seem like kind of like dopey and like kind of clueless. Just got these like wall-eyed stares and stuff. And that was always something I liked about animals on The Simpsons. Like whenever they do a joke about the cat or the dog or even Maggie for that matter, it just seems like such a hapless like whenever Maggie falls down, it's like almost always funny. Or any time that like a pet or an animal is the butt of a joke on The Simpsons, it's always like the funniest thing ever. Is a frog considered a circus freak in this universe? No, I guess not. These frogs were all like to be tested on and like dissected and stuff. They're just laboratory frogs. I would have gone with a rotoscope human for a circus freak. Yeah, that'd be good. Like all the characters are like, yikes! Look at this guy. He's got 5 fingers. 5 o'clock shadow. There's stuff in his ears. Look at all these flaps and folds in his ears. I just have a couple lines. Yeah, what's alien in a world of aliens? Yeah, that was a thing I wanted to make this guy be an alien in this world, but I was like, everybody's something weird in this world already. And like a lot of my early drawings of Bonehead, there were like aliens working alongside Bonehead. So I was like, well, I can't do that if I need him to be specifically alien to this planet. So, I don't know. So you won't see any aliens walking around in Bonehead's world except for this guy. That was a rule I had to make because he's supposed to be specifically like alien to this world, and like people like even in the cartoon, like I was gonna add him in after a while or something. Like if I continued and did a bunch of cartoons, I was gonna add him in after a while, and it was gonna be like an event adding him as a new character because he was gonna be freaking people out and everything. It's like meanwhile everyone else is ghosts and devils, and it's kind of tricky to convey properly, I guess. Like I was saying before, a different time, it's hard to understand why it's right in my head, but it is. Well, and look at what this guy has to say on the matter. Uh-huh. 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 But yeah, there's this like set of characters for another thing I want to do where yeah, they're all circus people, and when it came time to come up with like the circus freak, I wanted the circus freak to be a main character. I was like, what is like how do you settle on a specific circus freak? And I was like, what is it going to be? Like a bearded lady or and I don't know why, but Frogman just jumped into my head, and then Reggie the Frogman was born. And one of my first drawings, it's like, oh wow, a hideous like one of the main character goes, he's introduced to the Frogman, and he's like, wow, a hideous Frogman, that is freaky. And he goes, oh, that's not the freaky part. This is, and he lifts up his shirt, and he's got this really hairy chest. He's like, I'm an amphibian. That ain't supposed to be there. That was my elbow squeaking on the table. I'm not expelling gas. Wink, 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 wink. No, that was my elbow, I swear. Totally, bro. Pardon me. What time is it? I think I'm gonna jump off here in the next 10 minutes. Oh, yeah, like around 9 o'clock. I might have an alarm that goes off at 9 o'clock. I don't know if I'm always turning on and off alarms on my phone, and I never know if they're on or off. But I'm gonna jump at 9. Even though I'm closer to being done than I thought I might be. I meant to get all these already. All the lettering. And then I'll finish whatever I don't finish tonight by 9 in the next 10 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever. I'll finish tomorrow before I start the next page. Is it bad my default alarm sound is my friends singing? I like that. For the longest time, my alarm was some website. Like I would go to some like alarm clock website, and the sound it played, it was like some really obnoxious singing voice where it was like la 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 la, and it would just repeat super loud and wake up everybody in my house except for me. And like eventually somebody would come barging into my room and like shake me awake to turn it off my computer. So I guess in a way it worked. Mr. Bean? Yeah. Oh, and then we go, wake up. I think it was called Naked Alarm Clock. For some reason. I don't know if it's still a thing. I wonder. That'll be the last thing I do on this stream, I think, is find that Naked Alarm Clock.com. Ooh, I don't think it's a thing anymore. Nope. Naked Alarm. Oh, .ca, and I can't tell. It looks like it's still there, but I don't see the clock itself. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry I couldn't help you figure out Probably any of those questions you asked me. But hopefully that Packard is salvageable. Let's see. I'll ink this frog and then that'll be it. Here we go. Well, gotta turn it this way because the camera never wants me to turn it the way I start turning it. All right, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow at some point. Finish this page and start the next. And that one might be a pretty quick one too. So maybe I'll start another. I don't know. We'll see. I always start thinking I can bite off more than I end up being able to chew. All right. Peace out. Thanks, Bucky, for hanging around. I'll be back. This has been Ink the Book Show.